Welcome to today's yoga and mindfulness taster session. Today is a breathing exercise and it's called the 3-part breath. We're going to experience breathing into 3 different areas of the body, into the belly, the diaphragm and the upper area of the chest. So most of us tend to breathe in quite a shallow way, behind the collarbones. So we're going to train ourselves to bring the breath down into the belly and into the diaphragm. This is going to increase our oxygen supply, helping our organs to function more effectively. This exercise is also great as a meditation. It helps to bring us into the present moment and away from the busy thoughts of the mind. So to start, you need to bring yourself onto the back of your body. So find enough room where you can lie down. You may want to grab a cushion. You can bring this underneath the head or underneath the thighs. And you can either lie the legs flat down on the mat. If that causes any discomfort for the lower back, then take a bend at the knees, bring the feet out towards the edges of the mat and allow the knees to fall in towards each other. So bring the hands to the belly, fingers meeting in the middle just over the belly button. When you're ready, close the eyes. And begin to bring your awareness to the breath. Taking slow, deep breaths in and out of the nose. Now, if it's not possible for you to breathe through the nose, do breathe through the mouth. And begin to try and direct your breath into the belly. So allow all the muscles around the belly to soften. Perhaps imagine that there's a balloon within the belly. As you inhale, the balloon inflates. And then as you exhale, slowly release all that air from the balloon. So as you inhale, the belly rises. Perhaps the fingers part a little away from the belly button. And as you exhale, the belly falls. Perhaps the fingers meet again in the middle. So bring all your awareness, all your focus to the breath, in and out of the belly. Also bring a little awareness to the lower back. So as you inhale, feel the lower back imprint down a little into the mat. As you exhale, perhaps the lower back lifts away from the mat ever so slightly. Also try to breathe into the sides of the belly. And then continue with this belly breathing for a few more rounds. Making the breath as slow and as long as you can. And now you're going to bring the hands up a little higher, so they wrap around the sides of the rib cage. Begin to direct your breath now into the diaphragm, into the lower area of the ribs. So as you inhale, feel the ribs umbrella out towards the sides of the room. As you exhale, feel the ribs sink back towards the centre of the body. So rather than a rise and fall motion, as was with the belly, the movement in the rib cage is more of a sidewards movement. So as you inhale, the ribs umbrella out, they press into the hands. As you exhale, the ribs soften back towards the midline of the body. And again, think about breathing into the back of the body. So the lungs are actually positioned closer to the back than the front of the body. So feel the back of the ribs press down into the ground with each inhale. And continue here for a few more rounds with this diaphragmatic breath. Notice the steadiness of the breath and notice the length of the breath. Hopefully now that we've been practicing this belly breath and this diaphragmatic breath for a little while, hopefully you've been able to steady the breath and make it nice and slow, nice and long. Now bringing the hands up to the top of the chest. Resting the fingers on the collarbone, resting the palms of the hands on the upper area of the chest. Begin now to direct your breath up here. As you inhale, feel the chest lift, feel the hands lift. As you exhale, feel the chest soften, feel the hands sink down towards the ground. Now notice again the length and the steadiness of the breath. It's likely that the breath has sped up a little, perhaps it's become a little unsteady. As we're now not using our full lung capacity, we're just breathing in this upper area of the lungs. And when we're stressed, when we're anxious, this is where we tend to breathe. This also puts a lot of pressure onto the muscles through the shoulders and the neck. So next time you feel a little stressed, a little anxious, notice where you're carrying the breath. Then see if you can regulate it down to the belly and to the diaphragm. So bringing one hand to the belly, one hand to the diaphragm, to the lower area of the ribs. And begin to direct your breath back into the belly and into the base of the lungs. Slowing that breath down once more. As you inhale, the belly rises, the lower back imprints down into the ground, the ribs umbrella out towards the sides, and the back of the ribs press down into the ground. And if this feels a little weird, a little unnatural, perhaps it's not something that you've thought about before, that we can breathe into these different areas of the body, just keep with it. With practice, it will start to click. Taking a few more rounds of this belly and diaphragmatic breath. And then start to bring a little movement into the body, circling the wrists, circling the ankles, wriggling the toes and the fingers. Gently opening the eyes. Begin to draw the knees into the chest. And then bring yourself up into a seated position, either bringing yourself onto the side of the body or by rolling yourself up. That brings us to the end of our 3-part breath. Thank you for joining, hope you enjoyed it. Namaste.